Okay, we are live and recording, and I'm eating an apple. This is like a Wings of Fire series video.
So
if you're like coming from my blog or the poetry side of the world, you can listen to this if you're going for that weird dissociative, like figuring things out as we go, and like having to Google half our references. Like watch on, but otherwise you might want to just.
If you want something professional, this ain't it. Mm-hmm. This is basically just gonna be our mindless screaming. Mm-hmm. And
also, hi, this is my first time ever.
Yeah, this is the third member of the squad.
Taylor!
Yeah. Not her real name, but...
Obviously.
It's obviously my real name. What are you saying?
There's nothing but Taylor.
Okay. So, this is Dragon.
This is the government-mandated Dragonslayer video.
Yeah, I run this YouTube channel. I'm like a poet, and I run a podcast, or I'm working on one, and this is Creme, my friend.
I scream. That's what I do.
I draw. I'm the only one here who, like, actually uses a pencil to draw.
Hey, are you discrediting my artistic value? Here, darn, I left my phone inside. I should show you what I did.
I've seen your art, but it's digital. I'm sorry, but if you can't do that on paper...
I can do it on paper, that's the point.
I feel like we should go over usernames here. So Dragon writes things on everything. She's...
Artistic Taylor.
Capital A, dash between the artistic and the Taylor, capital T. And this is Cream T. She's like...
Underscore cream
T, no capitals, no spaces.
Underscore, because I'm a fancy bitch. Are we allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Can I swear? Okay.
Uh-huh.
I don't like swearing, but I'll allow you guys to swear because you're my friends.
Higgledy heckin'.
I will say that.
Gosh, diddly darn it.
Speaking of which, I feel like the fandom isn't freaking out enough over the fact that Foxglove swears, like, in canon in Dragonslayer.
I know, but we don't say fuck. Hashtag let Foxglove say fuck 2020. Anyway, okay. So this book is this is the Dragonslayer video, and Dragonslayer is... I feel like we should give some, like, basic information. Dragonslayer is a Legends book.
In the Wings of Fire series,
and it takes place consecutive to like our books 1 to 5 in like the first story.
And it's told from the perspective of the humans in a world ruled by dragons, which is like a super cool.
It's really cool. Okay, can we start screaming now?
Yeah.
Are you gonna put intro music?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've just finished reading this book, and my friends here, Dragon and Creme. They have been...
Creme.
Sorry. Dragon and Creme have been like...
Taylor, read Dragonslayer.
Read Dragonslayer and finish Dragonslayer.
So we can scream about it.
So that we can all just
I don't
scream at
coronavirus,
YouTube
I promise.
Nobody here has
Your coughing
the coronavirus.
Is making me want to cough.
As of yet.
Your coughing is making me want to cough.
Nobody has the coronavirus.
But this isn't what that video is about. Okay,
This is about
so don't you have talking points?
First talking point is Murder Basket.
Can we just take a moment of silence here to appreciate Ren trying her best to talk to a dragon she doesn't know?
Also, it seems to be only Nightwing names she has trouble with.
I know, because they're so big and they're compound words usually.
Yeah.
Like, she can say things like sand dune or whatever,
by the way, the fact that Glorybringer is like could be a legit Nightwing name is going to haunt me for the rest of my life.
Okay, by the way, so I have had this floating around in my head, so I like to think that in the next couple books, I will sue if Ren doesn't talk to Glory and mention that, oh, I met your, like, husband, boyfriend person, Murder Basket. And then Glory's like, excuse me, what the fuck? And she's like, hello, Mrs. Murder Basket. And then Glory thinks it's the funniest thing ever and legally changes Deathbringer's name to Murder Basket, and all the Rainwings just go along with it, and Deathbringer hates her for life.
But not really.
But not really, because
I want Deathbringer and Ren to reunite. Anyway, okay, I feel like we should give our thoughts on each of the main characters.
Okay,
going around the drum circle.
First off,
okay, Taylor. What do you think of Ren, Leaf, and Ivy?
And Heath.
And Heath.
And Fox.
Okay.
Whatever characters.
Okay. So, my first impression of the book, the first chapter, it's from Ren's perspective. And I think my first thoughts were, this is an interesting character.
Wow, some human sacrifice.
Wow, this village is crazy, but I don't really care because this is a good book. And then I was introduced to Ivy, and I was like,
confizzled.
This is a strange community. Wait, isn't it Stone? Wasn't Stone the one to murder the queen, not Heath? Okay, and then Leaf.
Anger child.
Oh, Leaf, my boy. He does not deserve the family he has.
I know, they're so shitty. Can
I just take these children in their horrible places and just put them in a place where they cannot be harmed? Please.
Anyway, what do you think of Sky?
Sky is my baby, my child, and my son.
Sky's baby.
It's weird. I only have, like, that maternal instinct that, like, 40-year-old men think that I'm supposed to have toward fictional characters. Like, when I see a child, my instincts say run. And when
my instinct is throw it.
When I see, like, a fictional character, I just...
Baby.
I want to give them little dumb orange juice boxes and animal crackers and send them off to fucking kindergarten.
Okay.
Yes. And then,
Heath.
Heath is a stinky butthead who can die in hell. I hope he rots in hell. He can be gruesomely eaten by a dragon for all I care.
Okay, that was definitely intense. Okay.
Also, any of, like, the other characters, like Rose and... Like,
they'd be good. Like Daffodil and Violet.
Yes, best sidekicks.
Violet's dads, I just imagine them being just so tired and just, like, tormented and, like,
I
like
love
drinking
that it's
coffee.
dads.
Yeah, Wings of Fire does that.
I love that.
Wings of Fire is good.
Blue, a character in, like, the new arc Lost Continent, he has 2 moms.
And they're
and
awesome.
A dad.
Pure.
It's complicated.
He has a biological dad, but he's stinky. We only
Yeah,
care about
yeah.
Silverspot and Burnett.
Yeah.
Okay. Enough talking about the Lost
And
Continent. We're talking about Dragonslayer.
Because Taylor is an uneducated swine and hasn't read that.
Okay. I'm not gonna talk for the next couple of minutes because you
Okay.
called me a swine.
Give your opinions on the characters, like protagonists and like Sky and Heath.
Okay, I love Ren. She reminds me of my mom, or the stories I hear about my mom when she was little. She seems like the type of person who would climb up a tree and like pretend and like make cougar noises under her breath just to freak her parents out, or like just,
You know, she probably did that when she was little, except make dragon noises.
yeah, or like just, like fake her own death just to like rebel. Ooh, Taylor, this is a really nice
Wait, did your
pencil
mom do that?
She used to, she would like climb up a tree to the very top and sway the branches so her mom would think she was gonna fall.
And make cougar noises?
She didn't make cougar noises. She suggested I do that once though, to freak out my camp instructor.
Okay.
Anyhow,
Ivy.
I don't know. I low-key, I feel like I'm a mix of like Ren and Ivy.
I definitely relate to Ivy the most out of
I
the two,
I sort of relate to Ren a little more in that we're both feisty.
Yes, Dragon, you are feisty. Okay, you are. I wouldn't want to get in your way. Just saying. I'm glad you're not my enemy.
Smart's fire. God damn, I wish this were a video so I could edit that in.
Maybe one day we'll graduate to that level.
Anyhow, Ivy, I really love Ivy. How she like sees things. I can definitely relate to how she like sees things differently than other people and sees all these like inconsistencies and is really frustrated by that. And then Leaf is my boy, and I love him.
He's so good.
Him and Ivy make a really cute couple, and I really want to write something for
his
them.
arc about like the dragons and like
oh boy.
And when he finally like meets the actual dragon slayer who inspired him, and
yeah, I'm like really hoping to see more of him after he's like dealt with his dragon complex and like see how
complex.
It's a complex. See how he's like
see how he moves forward from that.
Yeah, and then there's Heath, who I would
listen. He's a complicated character.
He's not. I would pay money.
He spat in my face.
I'm sorry.
Okay, maybe he's not that complicated.
No, he's just dumb. He throws things at Ivy. That's horrible.
Okay, I do not trust people who throw things. Anyway, Ren is my daughter.
Wait, I didn't get to give my opinion on Sky yet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Everyone's opinion on Sky is that he's a baby.
As a vegan, I bless Sky into our cult.
Yes.
That's all I have to
I don't know
say.
if he's vegan or vegetarian, though.
I don't think dragons really have, like, I think animal products are, like, a rich person thing, mainly. Because, like, him and Ren are, like, moving.
World building.
So, like, I don't think they'd have time to, like,
It's
we're just
either
going
meat
to
or
stop
nut.
and make cheese.
It's either meat or nut or plants.
I feel like that's how dragons view things. Like, can you imagine the Rainwings making cheese? As a side note, I love Foxglove. I love that she has short hair because I have short hair and I feel kinship with her to a degree.
You're a Pixie Cut brethren.
Yes, I love Cranberry, Rowan's friend. I don't know, her name makes me happy. And
Daffodil and Violet.
God bless them. They're doing
Also,
so good.
thank you to E.T. Sutherland for not forgetting that your characters have friends.
Yeah,
Because they're people and people have friends. Although it's like
Violet and Daffodil remind me a lot of what my friends were like in second grade, except like with less toxicness and horribleness.
Yeah, Daffodil is basically like to Ivy. She's like, "You're my friend now," and Ivy's like, "Okay."
Okay, your turn. Come.
Ren. Oh God, I love her.
Girl.
I can see that the anger definitely runs in the family with Leaf, but I don't think
That's because they have a shitty family.
I don't think Leaf's anger and like stuff is as ingrained as Ren is. I think it's more of a result of
Ren is just
her
sort of a
death.
I think Ren is just very
It's like a naturally
untrusting,
ferocious person.
I don't think she's like ferocious. Ferocious? That's a very big word.
Yes, I am big brain smart head.
Okay, big brain smart head.
Okay, I love Ivy so much. I like how all the humans have like nature names, but it makes it feel like natural.
Yeah.
Except for the idiots in the Indestructible City who name their fucking children like Undauntable.
And Mushroom.
And Mushroom.
Like who looks at their baby?
There was one named Boar, so.
Oh.
Okay, envy him. Fucking Undauntable.
Just like looks
And
at my
he's
child.
definitely dauntable. He's so.
Okay, can we talk about Undauntable? He's everything wrong with like guys and teenage guys, in my opinion. Like how he like asks Ren to marry him. Like holy shit! Wow, two
You see
Sutherland
him once a
understands
year. You see
what
her
it's like
once
to be a girl in high school.
I think he has the potential to be like an interesting character in the future. And he's
I want him to have a negative character arc.
he just seems it could go either way.
I want him to go evil. I want to watch him go off the rails and destroy the world.
Walter, Dragon, we already have his dad to do that.
Well, I want him to do it too.
I don't know. The way 2D Sutherland like seems to be setting up his character, and like the epilogue is him like going against his dad because he refuses to like give Ren up.
Yeah.
He definitely has an interesting view on things.
Like, I mean, how he acts toward Ren. I mean, one time I was just walking, there's like a sort of like markety area near our school, like a bunch of shops, and sometimes kids go there at lunch.
It's a town.
Yeah, it's like a little town. And sometimes kids go there at lunch, and I'm just walking along, and some dude's just like, hey, wanna go on a sushi date with me? In 8th grade.
You did not know this man.
I did not know this man. On the first day of 8th grade, I'm just sitting there, minding my own awkward 8th grade business.
I have a crush on you. Do you want to go on a sushi date?
No, he didn't ask about the sushi date. Just, I have a crush on you. He shouts, like, from, like, there's, like, a balcony area.
This guy down. That you had never seen.
Yeah.
Or talked to.
And then he complimented my tablet case.
We're talking about
Dragonslayer.
Anyhow, Undauntable is an accurate representation of
I know, and I thank
dumb
T.T. Sutherland
teen guys
for
are like
putting that in. And his character arc could really go either way. He could have and alternatively, I want like an entire sequence of Ren like taking him out into the wild and calling him out on all his BS. Because that's
exactly.
I think that's one of the reasons he likes her is because she's different and she doesn't. Like,
Except the way he does that is questionable. Like,
come live with me forever.
I don't know. It's like he objectifies her a little, if that makes sense.
He kind of has this idealized version of her.
Like, he treats her like this sort of thing he can collect.
Yeah,
and
I think that's
fucked up.
I think that's the point. Like,
he's a very...
Ren literally says something like that.
Yeah, she does, I think.
Anyway, Leaf. Oh God, I love him.
He's so...
I love him so much. And his arc about, like, dragons and realizing what the village did to Ren and, like...
I know. I feel like that's, like, kind of a growing up thing, too. Like...
Yeah, realizing how, like, adults in your life aren't always right.
And don't always tell the truth, and, like, you can't
always tell the truth, and you can't always trust them. That's also a thing with Ivy and Ren. I'm sensing a theme. And Sky. Ren
figures that out. So, speaking of which, can we talk about Sky and, like, his implications for the plot? So, Creme texted me, like, this afternoon, like, and with this really good point. Sky could very reasonably be a protagonist with the way 2E is going, with just sort of, like, not protagonists who are in the main squad necessarily.
The main squad being Jade Winglet.
Jade Winglet for the second arc, but, like, Luna, Blue, Sundew, the works.
No, she's trying not... What she says is she's not repeating species.
Okay, so Luna and Swordtail aren't getting books.
I know.
Holy crap, I'm so sad.
Also, I swear to God, every single book, I'm like, Swordtail's gonna die. This is it. He can't possibly live another book. And then he fucking does it. Taylor, do you have anything to say? What are your hot takes on Undauntable?
Undauntable needs to chill the F down.
You sound so passive-aggressive.
You're like, where I will steal his kneecaps.
Wait, has she said that to you before?
No, I've said that to her.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm gonna steal your kneecaps, Crumb.
I will eat your teeth.
Guys.
Listen, this is part of our markable personalities. It's
I
banter.
Stole your kneecap. It's mine
I will
now.
juice your eyeballs.
Oh gosh, dang! I want to get your nose too.
This occurs a lot, and I'm sick of it. YouTube, help.
I'm going to juice your eyeballs.
Do you want to watch a vegan become a cannibal?
Okay, anyway, what are your next... Oh, Sky, yes. I feel like Sky... That's part of the reason, like, this book is being released now, because Sky... To, like, introduce Sky.
Yeah.
Also, I want him and Peril to reunite so
I know.
bad.
I find it really interesting how they both have, like, this impulsive sort of, like, very... They say things in all caps a lot, if you know what I mean. Like, they just have those very, like...
But it, like, manifests in completely different
in,
ways.
like, opposite ways. And I really like the detail. I don't know if that was intentional of 2E or just something that happened.
Also, Sky has a very pretty design. The way he's, like, a pale, like, soft...
I know.
He's pastel.
I want his cover, if he gets a book, to be, like, him flying, like, a nice, soft pastel sunset. Just being, like, the aesthetic king over here.
He's so aesthetic. Sky would make flower crowns.
He would.
I want him and Blue to meet if Blue wasn't currently possessed by an evil plant.
Shut up! I'm in denial.
Evil.
The last release book in the Lost Continent arc gets kind of like cosmic horror-y.
The villain is a plant.
The main villain turns out to have been a plant all along.
I am not even gonna ask questions at this point.
Don't. Also, it's a like, what? Because this goes from books 1 to 5, like the entire 1 to 5, like the entire first arc. What have these guys been doing, like, for like the Jade Mountain?
I know.
Arc?
And
like,
I feel like, so this is a personal, very, conspiracy theory-ish claim.
Now we're just gonna have to go back through, like, the entire Jade Mountain arc and, like, find all the places scavengers were mentioned and try to figure out.
I figured out, you know when Winter saved Moon and Keebly from being, like, cannoned at?
Yeah.
That was the Undauntable City, or Invincible City.
Oh.
That was, I looked it up on the map.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Which means they haven't made that much progress in their whole take over the world thing.
If you look at, well, they might have. I mean, you
don't
really know.
What if maybe that's why, like, Ivy and Leaf and the gang haven't been, like...
Yeah.
What if, like, Valor and, like, Talisman have been, like, marched on or something?
Or taken over.
And that's what they've been dealing
City.
with. with.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what happened to like Ren and Sky?
Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to point out that there are more scavenger dens that aren't like mentioned. So there's Safe Harbor. There's, I love this map, by the way. Terrifying Viper Pit of Dragons. Here be dragons, probably.
So there's Safe Harbor. These are gonna be important places.
We've already had Talisman, Valor, and the Indestructible City.
Safe Harbor is gonna be important because it's like the only other thing listed on the map.
Yeah.
Also,
Safe Harbor. Maybe it's where like Ivy and the gang are as political, like
right now,
as like politically outspoken. Like a place where people can, maybe it's like a different approach to like refugees.
The Indestructible City's approach to refugees. Leave your children here so we know you'll come back.
Yeah.
I can see Queen Vigilance pulling some shit like that.
I write a fan fiction for those of you.
It's an AU.
It's an AU for Legends Darkstalker. You can read it on my Wattpad.
Insert self promo here.
Insert self promo here, yeah.
It's really good. I can vouch for that.
So can I. I read her content. It's amazing. You should really go check it out.
If you enjoy Wings of Fire or just
Stop,
good
you're
things
making
in
me
general,
melt.
You can also read the like text novelization of where the broken things are there.
Yee.
Instead of just listening to the audiobook.
That's on my YouTube. Also, I feel like Sky is gonna be very important, and him and Ren. My personal theory. Important. I saw a post on Tumblr.
It's a human who can communicate with dragons. It's gonna be important.
Oh, it's not off. It's just gone to sleep. I saw a post on Tumblr that was like talking about I'll read this aloud. If you're listening to this, I love your post. Hang on, let me just pull up my Tumblr.
That you're listening.
Oh my god, I've been on Tumblr so much.
Dragon.
Okay.
You have a problem.
I do. Okay, Next Wings of Fire book. So this is by Too Many Reptiles on Tumblr. Next Wings of Fire book should be a Full House style sitcom, except with like all 500 Pentalon dragons in the Ice Palace.
Starflight explaining the war.
Some Wings of Fire memes reblogged it and said Starflight explaining the Sandwing succession. And they were sisters. All the Pentala dragons. Gasp. Oh my god, they were sisters. Snowfall crying. Can you all please leave? I want it to be like that, but with humans in the mix. And the humans have like showed up at the Ice Palace or something.
Yeah, I can definitely. Ren would pull some shit like infiltrating the Ice Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd like figure out coats.
Oh my god, what if like Queen Glacier, Queen Snowfall ends up like capturing Sky or something, and she's like, I do not need all of this weird shit.
And she's just trying so hard.
Why can't you all just leave me alone? Wait, can I mention my favorite scene in the whole book? I mean,
the murder basket scene?
Not the murder basket scene. That's a close second. It's that fucking scene. Ivy just, where like, Ren goes back to her village and just fucking calls out everybody.
I know.
That is the most. And then her parents come up like when she's trying to leave, and they're like, Ren, wait, and she's like, no, not you, never.
That's really good.
And it's like, and Leaf is like, yeah, fuck you guys. I kind of want dragonslayer to like continue as its like own series, like consecutive to like the main one. Like we get like the first series, we get like the Jade Mountain series released, and then we get another like this size book updating on what.
I know. Can we talk about how thick this book is? Like it's 500
so
pages.
good.
Like thank you,
Well,
Julie.
it covers all of them from when they're like 7, and 8 up until they're like 7. How old?
I think they're like 15 or 16.
Like
maybe.
16, yeah.
Can we also
is
talk about
7.
how pretty this book is? It has like these shiny.
Dragon.
Look at these pretty pages.
They can't see
And
the
it smells
pages.
good. It smells so good.
It's a book. All books smell good.
Like,
it smells better.
So like after this, I want another book like this side that's just updating us on all the shit that went down with the gang while the Jade Mountain arc was happening.
Yes. Or I feel like that might be. I don't know. I honestly feel like with everything going on, I don't know if Tui could do this or if it would feel like deviating from the typical like Wings of Fire format, but I feel like having like a dual protagonist book 5 in this arc would make it like potentially, I don't know, just with everything.
I know, but I don't think we can like add the human's perspective into like the dragon books.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's kind of the point of this.
I don't know where Tui's gonna go with like, cause this has to.
It ends like a series book.
Yeah,
like,
and
with
I
this
saw
fucking sequel bait.
Yeah, and I saw a post on Tumblr. This like book, someone had a Q&A.
Also,
I can't like cite sources here because I don't remember. I was 11.
Leaf having like this version of Ren in his head.
Oh yeah, that was really
That is
interesting.
amazing. That is one of my favorite parts, honestly.
It was really interesting how he projects onto her and how the Wren's head isn't really the Wren.
Listen to this. The whirl around leaf had suddenly come into bright, sharp focus, as though it had been underwater until Rose said Wren's name and knocked him into this new place, as though maybe he'd been underwater since he was 8 years old. It's probably not her, he tried to tell himself. Don't get your hopes up. It couldn't possibly be her, because it's me. Wren shouted in his. Of course I would survive being fed to dragons. I probably ate them.
It's like a very, I think it's like his coping mechanism, like
and
losing
like how
someone.
like his sister in his head like eggs him on to like pursue,
like
kill the.
And I think
dragons
he
and
sort of
stuff.
projects it to a degree as like him like honoring her, but really it's not. It's just him. Also, can we appreciate on the cover how him and Wren have like matching outfits?
Like tunic things, yes.
They have like matching tunic
Also,
things.
Wren's hair is so poofy. I love it.
I know. She's very pretty. I love her.
Poof.
She's jeans.
Sky 100% tried to do her hair at one point. Like, he saw some humans once.
With like pretty hair, and he
He's
like
I
fanboyed
wanna
over
do
it.
That.
Oh, baby boy.
Oh god, him and Peril meeting would be so
I feel like that would have a
weird.
huge effect on Peril too, and like
She'd be like, wait, my brother is not dead?
yeah. Can we talk about how cute the scene was where Ivy kissed Leaf, but he was invisible, so she
I know.
kissed his nose. It was
It's so
cute.
God damn you, T.D. Sutherland. I feel like everything, like the one issue I have with this book, which is basically none, is that it kind of felt a bit rushed at the end with like all the plot threads suddenly smash.
Yeah, it did feel a little bit rushed. I can understand why. I don't know how avoidable that was, to be honest.
Also, Undauntable's cat being named Dragon, and Ron is like, I haven't.
Oh, by the way, Creme and I looked this up at lunch at school the other day.
Dragon is convinced
Dragon.
Undauntable's cat isn't a cat.
It's a bobcat.
It's
Look
not
up
a
pictures of bobcats, guys.
Dragon, it's like ginger, like a
There are ginger bobcats. I'm looking it up on my phone.
Tabby. Like a tabby cat.
It's not. It's big. It's up to his like fucking elbows.
Maybe he just feeds it a lot. Maybe the cats are different in this universe.
I know there are like a big species of cat. My mom has a coworker.
Maine Coons.
Mancoons.
Like,
yeah.
look them up right now. Ginger Maine Coons, and tell me that's not his cat.
It's a bobcat.
It's not. Ginger Maine
Hey,
Coons.
I'm looking it up. How is it spelled?
No, that's matches. M-A-I. Maine Coon. There.
Oh, okay. Wow, big.
See, I told you.
No, I just think they're cute. Shut up.
Look at that. That's Dragon. Okay, can
Fine.
we pick apart the epilogue?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, you read it out loud, and then we can
Because
analyze.
of my lovely audiobook voice.
Yes, and then we can analyze it.
Okay. Epilogue. Undauntable. From the window of the throne room. This is copyright to T.D. Sutherland, by the way, YouTube.
We do not claim any of this. This is from Dragonslayer.
Yeah, this is
not,
under
not our
fair
stuff.
use for like reviewing. Is that I think that's a
Yeah,
thing.
that's a thing.
Okay, cool. The most thing I've learned in high school is an obsessive amount of knowledge, and like as a blogger is a ridiculous amount of every single Creative Commons license. All of the different licenses. I could fucking write a dissertation on copyright. Like when I graduate, I'm just gonna drop like a 30-page like thesis on copyright.
That's gonna be
on
like
my
your
teacher's
university thesis.
And just be like,
Dragon, that's how you get into university.
I don't even want to get
Okay,
into
epilogue.
From the window of the throne room, Undauntable could see half the world, and he found it all aggravating. There were the jagged teeth of the mountain range stretching north and south, full of dragons who might eat Wren. There was the blue-green river winding away toward the sea, the one Wren always followed. Okay, he's obsessed. He barely knows her. Toward the sea, the one Wren always followed when she left. There was the forest that was supposed to magically produce her again, any moment, but there was no sign of her, and she kept not being there, moment after moment, day after day. It had been 59 days since he'd proposed to her. I'm sorry, every time God, I hate him.
Dragon, okay. I'm gonna give my opinion on Undauntable after.
Okay.
Wait, I've already given that opinion.
Okay. It had been 59 days since he'd proposed to her and she'd stormed off. If she stayed away a full year again, that meant hundreds more days like this. Long and boring and renless. Long and boring and renless. Listen, you're getting the unedited Dragon Writes Things experience. Like, you think Where the Broken Things Are comes out all composed and shit? Nah. I'm
I nod my head.
That's yeah. I was editing my podcast the other day. I'll insert this in here. Whenever I read Where the Broken Things Are, which is, for those of you who don't know, my story on Wattpad is also an audiobook.
I don't know if we can really call it a short story anymore.
Yeah, it's really not. It's like a novella. Anyhow, but she can't, he thought to himself. She didn't get the supplies she needed. She doesn't have any books to read, so she has to come back sooner. That's like some low-key like things that I feel like an abuser would say in a relationship. Like depriving the person of like the things they need that they...
But he's not depriving her.
He's not, but he's like I think he kind of sees it as like his way of controlling her. I don't know. I just don't like him.
He's like, she doesn't have the stuff she needs, so she has to come back and see me.
Like she has to. Like he sees her.
I don't know. I think Ren is like this idealized version to him of like the freedom of the outside world that he can't
and I think he's very frustrated
with like his living situation.
Yeah. It was not all right with him that she cared more about books than actually seeing Undauntable. That is something that's something that like a person I feel like would say,
but
like,
at least she'd have to come back to the indestructible city. Yeah.
And maybe next time she'll stay. The spiked helmet, holy shit. I read this when I was really sick with like a fever. So I don't remember this very well. I've only read this once. The spiked helmet was oppressively hot and the spiky jacket was worse. Holy shit, he's wearing a spiked leather jacket!
No joking, it's armor.
And the spiky jacket was worse, jabbing him to weird places whenever he shifted his weight. He could feel the sweat rolling down his back and gathering in his armpits. But he was only allowed to sit by the window if he wore his spikes, and this was where he had to sit if he wanted to see her coming. Sometimes Undauntable wondered what would happen if he decided to leave with her one day. What if he snuck away from his guards and followed her to wherever she went when she left him? He had no idea where that was. He'd always imagined a small village down by the river somewhere. But sometimes she would say things or buy things that made him think she lived alone, traveling around instead of staying in one place. What would that be like? Seeing a new place every day instead of the same walls over and over again. It would be terrifying. Without the walls, the dragons could get you. With the catapults and spikes and guards and weapons, you'd be the easiest prey they ever ate. Staying in the indestructible city was the only way to stay safe. Undauntable knew that was true. He was terrified for Ren all the time. Every time he heard a dragon overhead, he wondered if it had Ren in its claws. Okay, he's definitely projecting some of his problems onto Ren.
Yeah, he's projecting this like fear and like fascination with like the unknown.
He treats her like this exotic like collectible. Like, and I've said this before, and I will say it again, that's really gross and not okay.
Like the scale, he thinks of her kind of like the scales she brings him.
I think that's like sort of the point. It's like a metaphor.
Yeah.
I don't think he's past saving though.
I do.
Dragon, have some faith for the guy.
I fucking hate him.
Listen, you've had more experience with weird guys than I have.
He's a weird guy, like the guy who sat down beside me in my math final and like stared at my computer screen for 5 minutes without talking. He's that guy, and I don't
also
like
the guy
him.
who like literally walked up to you, introduced himself, and he was like, "Hi, my name is blank. Do you want to go on a date with me?"
Wait, which one was that?
I don't. Yeah, you told me all that.
I don't remember.
It's happened to guys are weird in high school. Anyhow, it made no logical sense to him that she'd survived all those years out there. It made even less sense that she would choose that life instead of safety with him. Okay, he's definitely like, I don't know. This is sort of a thing that I do sometimes when I get really anxious. I'm just like analyzing this from like a brain perspective and someone who like has been in therapy and like knows a little about psychology.
Yeah, he definitely has some issues.
Okay, so this is my personal theory. So when I get anxious, I tend to do this thing where like when I'm in denial about being anxious, like when I'm like, shit's going crazy, but
no, it's not.
No, it's not. I definitely do this thing too where I'm so like I have this like weird fake like overconfidence like for a moment. Like it doesn't last long. But it's just like this weird like momentary like total overconfidence.
Like he's living under like constant fear. That's how like the indestructible
and I feel like he's coping with that by projecting this false plastic sort of overconfidence and projecting all his fear that he doesn't like onto Ren.
Yeah. But at the same time, he also, like, envies her.
Yeah.
Because
And
it seems like he's been raised with, like, this anxiety. Like, that's how the indestructible city works. It works on fear.
Yeah.
And he's definitely had that, like, bred into him.
yeah, okay. He heard movement behind him and turned to see his father entering the room with his usual entourage of counselors and sycophants. How's that pronounced? Hey Siri, how do you say sycophants? Hey Siri.
I found this on the web.
Okay, hang on.
The real authentic experience.
How is it spelled? Oh, SYCO fans.
Sycophants?
I don't-
Sycophants?
Here's what I found.
How to pronounce oh, cool. Hang on, this is a YouTube video and I don't want to get a copyright claim, so I'm gonna just put this on mute for a moment. Okay, we'll be back in a sec. Okay, we're back and we've discovered it said sycophant.
Okay. Maybe we should restart that sentence.
He heard movement behind him and turned to see his father entering the throne room with his usual entourage of counselors and sycophants. The invincible lord spotted Undauntable and beckoned imperiously.
I'm beckoning imperiously.
Okay. But I'm picturing him like those guys in Lord of the Rings, you know? Like, with that slicked back, like, long hair.
Those are elves.
No, like, all of the guys in Lord of the Rings are like that. Okay.
Okay.
Like, with that slicked back hair that's sort of ruffled at the bottom, and, like, a little, like, Justin Trudeau beard.
Okay, yeah.
And a very, like, constantly frowning face.
Yes.
Okay. Undauntable sighed and took off his helmet. He knew his hair must be slick and disheveled, and that his father was judging his appearance as he approached. The Lord looked perfect, as always, each dark hair! See, he has dark hair! I'm right, and you're wrong! Each dark hair combed into a thick royal mane. Rings on every long finger. He has long fingers! Ruby red robes without a wrinkle in sight. Gosh, someone do fan art of him, please. He sounds like such a good character to draw. They reached the throne in the center of the room at the same time, and Undauntable made a polite bow. Father, he said. Sit with me, boy. Sit with me, boy. Sit with me, boy.
Okay.
Sit with me, boy. Sit with me, boy, his father said, indicating one of the stools beside the throne. Apparently, we have a visitor with a story worth hearing. Undauntable unbuckled the spiked jacket with some difficulty and handed it in the helmet to one of the servants, trying not to gasp for air as it came off. His own pale orange robes were crumpled and damp, but he smoothed them out and You're just facing into my shoulder. I like your face and my shoulder, thank you.
Squish.
Okay, you have a squishy face. Even when I'm not perfect, I have something no one else has. Okay, let's unpack that. So, right away, we've diagnosed him with some, like, anxious tendencies. And also some, like, ingrained, I do this too, like, when I'm feeling really insecure, I do that thing.
I may be a mess, but at least I look good.
Like, this thing where, like, this core part of me is like, wow, you suck. But then on the outside, I'm, like, really overconfident for, like, a moment. And
like I'm the best?
Yeah. And
I have something else no one else has. And the way he like clings to his like mementos from Ren is like they're special. They make him different.
Yeah, like and he's also, so scared of like
it seems like he's trying to control his appearance when he doesn't have much like control in other parts of his life.
Yeah, I think like being raised under that fear, it's like natural. Creme, don't fucking eat that apple core. You little gremlin! That is an apple seed. That is cyanide.
I think I'm immune to cyanide.
I ate an apple and she just fucking ate my apple core.
The entire apple core.
You disgust me?
No, I'm powerful. You're not.
Why?
I am dying.
Oh, Taylor, what's going on?
Oh, I'm trying to find furniture for Minecraft.
Oh,
okay, relatable.
Just
Creme, you've never played Minecraft.
I think
Delicious apple core.
Okay.
Anyway, I think I built up an immunity to cyanide. I've been eating apple cores like this since I was 9.
You disgust me.
No, but at least I won't get cyanide poisoning when someone eventually tries to poison me.
She just did her fingers like she was gonna crack her knuckles, except they didn't crack, and it shows.
Shut up! I don't know how to crack my knuckles. No.
Someone taught me in first grade, but I forgot. They were hardcore.
Anyway.
No one else in the indestructible city wore dragon scales like the ones embedded in his earring, rings, and necklace. Holy shit! He's like taken these like knickknacks and like basically made them his entire identity. Like that's some self-worth issues.
Yeah, I feel like he has that.
I feel like he never really figured out like who he was.
Outside of like his father and his like power.
Yeah.
These scales are like his way of feeling special.
Yeah. Ren's scales were completely unique. They made him special, even when he felt alone and awkward and out of place. Holy shit, he has anxiety.
And convinced that everybody hate him.
That is that sentence. I'm not like I'm not like a doctor, but at the same time, this is triggering my anxiety, like radar.
Reading this, like,
this is anxiety
and I hate
for you.
that I'm relating to him.
Yeah, I'm not saying like that doesn't excuse his actions, but this kid has anxiety. The Lord seated himself on the throne, and I mean, who wouldn't living in this society, honestly, especially like so close to so much politics.
But he's the prince.
Yeah. The Lord seated himself on the throne in a swirl of scarlet robes and nodded. I can just picture him twirling like...
Oh my god, Dragon, no.
Undauntable squinted at the man who strode into the room, all big shoulders and crooked teeth and rugged streaks of dirt everywhere. Lord of the Rings, dwarf! It's a dwarf!
He had the aura of someone who would carefully kick anyone in the face for money.
A mercenary, Undauntable guessed. Your invincible lordship, the man said grandly, bowing until his forehead nearly touched the floor. Boar! Taylor, you were right, there is a boar.
Yep.
Boar, said Undauntable's father, and it took Undauntable a moment to realize Undauntable's name is such a mouthful, I'm dying. To realize he was saying the man's name, not commenting on how dull he was. Welcome back. How is the city of Valor? Very illuminating, sir, but nothing as great as your city. Holy shit, they're sending spies into Valor?
Yeah.
I really need to reread this when I'm not,
Okay.
like... I read this.
Sick and dying.
My mom, yeah, I had a nap. My mom came home, or it came, like, from Amazon, like, to our door, maybe. I don't remember.
And then you woke up from a nap.
Yeah, and my mom,
read
like,
it.
woke up from a nap, and I texted Creme, and then I read it, and then I went back to sleep. And I just sort of, like, oh, that
Died.
happened.
It was quite easy.
And what have you... It was quite easy.
Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah.
To get close to the dragonslayer. Oh, because, when he started to go all paranoia crazy, he started to hire all those mercenaries for like his own private army. And
Holy
that's how they
shit.
got the spy
Okay.
in.
He was willing to hire anyone who'd promised to protect him from you. Father rubbed his chin and frowned. And what have you learned? Did you plant the stories I told you? He asked. Is he coming here at last? More interesting news than that, sir, said Bor. As the invincible lord scowled, he hurried on. There was an incident in Valor, my lord. The dragonslayer is no longer in charge. In fact, he admitted to the entire town that he never killed that dragon at all. What? Undauntable could sense a new simmering rage. Okay. Building under his father's skin. Okay, can we just unpack? So we already know that this kid, I'm not like, oh, that's a car. We already know that this kid has grown up in like a very high stress environment. Like this is super vigilance, like semi-dystopian society. In addition to that, it sounds like his father has like very angry tendencies and his family is like pretty toxic.
Yeah.
If not
And
like
he's like latching onto Ren as this like escape.
from this like shitty family.
And
yeah.
the weird thing is that he wishes he could always have that like feeling.
Yeah.
I kind of hope he gets like rescued from this.
I want him to have a negative character arc.
I know that would be like super like interesting and like tragic.
Yeah, I want him to like go
Like-
up and then just go down.
Go up like
Get better and then just something happens and he's just like, y'all are going to hell. Bye.
building under his father's skin.
But there was a dead dragon. The last two spies said he has its tail. He does, but it turns out it was his brother who did the slaying, said Bor. But that one's a lost cause, your great and powerful lordship. And the dragonslayer has been utterly disgraced. Neither one is the hero you're looking for. Have you come to tell me that you are? Father said with enormous disdain. No. Bor raised his hands. That's not the interesting part of the story, my lord. The interesting part is that the dragonslayer confessed his lies because a dragon showed up in Valor and demanded the treasure back. Demanded what? The lord growled. How could a dragon say anything? He didn't exactly, but he had someone with him. Bor paused for dramatic effect. The room was deathly silent. Everyone was listening with wide-eyed fascination. The dragon was working with a girl. A girl? Oh wow, sexism, fun. The Invincible Lord snorted with disgust. Impossible. The girl was riding the dragon, Bor insisted. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. She stood up there on his shoulder, and she didn't say a word, but you could tell. She was the one who understood the dragon. She was the one who really brought the message. She made him roar when she wanted to. She told him when to leave with the treasure, mind you. There is a girl, sir, who can control dragons.
Oh, that's... So, they think that Ren has, like, this sort of, like, hypnosis power over dragons or something. And really, she just talks to them.
And talks to Sky.
Yeah.
Mostly. Like, I don't think she would have a way
I
with,
feel
most
like
dragons.
the Invincible Lord and, like, his society really do see dragons as, like, the way Leaf saw them as, like, mindless monsters.
And I think both, like, there's a lot of dehumanization coming from, like, both sides.
Yeah, because...
And that's, like, really the root of the whole problem is that they see each other, like, for the dragons, they see scavengers as, like,
cute
these little
animals.
Cute little animals,
And
if not, like,
humans
food.
humans see dragons as these, like, big brutish monsters who can't
Yeah, and
think.
I think there's, like...
If they
in
just
both
talk
of those reasons,
to each other...
there is, like, a somewhat rational, like, scavengers to dragons look like cute, fluffy,
Like,
you know...
they cute, look like how, like... Probably look like how guinea pigs or something look to us.
Yeah, and for, like, scavengers, there's definitely, like, a reason for them to see dragons like that. So there's, like, a lot of interesting, like,
and that's
prejudice.
why Ren is so important and, like, different.
Yeah, and so, like, such an interesting character.
Because she's the one who can bridge the gap.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Hang on. Let's continue this. The Invincible Lord stared at him for a long moment. Undauntable tried to steady his father's face without staring too obviously. It looked as though wheels were spinning in his mind, gears clicking into place. Undauntable knew he was already figuring out how to use this to his benefit. That was my stomach.
Yes.
Where is this girl now? He said in a smooth, silky voice. Ooh, silky. That's a yummy description word.
Yes, Nom.
She left with the dragon, Bor answered. But she's out there, sir. She's the one you want. And she can't be too hard to find if she sticks with that dragon. I ain't never seen one that color before. It was a kind of light orange, like the mountain dragons, but all washed out. A shock like lightning ran through Undauntable scales.
Veins.
Oh gosh. Pale orange scales. A girl who rides a dragon. If there was anyone in the world he could imagine riding a dragon, it was Ren. Had she been bringing him scales from her very own dragon all these years? Hadn't she been 9 when he met her? Had she had her own dragon when she was 9 years old? Yeah, she's a badass and you respect her. And could she really control them? He suddenly realized with a cold, creeping feeling that his father was staring at him. Everyone out, said the Invincible Lord. Bor, good work, and don't go far. I want every detail of this story. This is my Invincible Lord voice. Undauntable could feel his own heartbeat like a panic stabbing in his wrist. He was afraid his father could feel it too, drumming through... That's anxiety, kid. Thrumming through the fingers pressed into his skin. I can't tell him about her. I don't want him to take Ren away from me. But wouldn't he be thrilled? Wouldn't he be pleased that I could finally be of some use to him? Okay, here parenting is causing this self-esteem issue, it seems like, because
That after...
all this time doing nothing, it turns out I could bring him... So this is a kid who isn't really able to do anything productive, but surrounded by these people who are doing something productive in the society where there's, like, constant threat. He's, like, literally a recipe for anxiety. Wow.
Yeah.
He looked into his father's cold, predatory... That is not a good word to be describing your dad's eyes, kids.
Oh, this bit.
Eyes. This would finally make me the son he truly wants. And yet when he tried to imagine what would happen to Ren in his father's power, his heart felt like it was shrinking into a little iron pellet. Ren would hate being father's puppet. Okay, kid, you don't know her, but also, like, legit, but
She'd
you
hate
don't know.
being trapped here.
Or working for him. She'd hate me for giving her to him. And he would crush her. Ren was sunlight and wind and far-off horizons. She was claws and wings and bursts of flame. She was everything the indestructible
That's the
city
thing.
was not.
That's why.
Yeah.
The
That's why I love her. Okay.
No, he doesn't really love her. He loves, like,
Yeah.
the idea of what she represents.
Okay, so can I break this down with some more personal experience here? Okay.
Go.
So, I was in, like, my middle school age. I was, so I had this, person who, I was friends with in 5th grade who I see I definitely didn't treat him like like Undauntable treats Ren, but like the way I definitely viewed him as sort of like this escape, like from my anxiety. Like I thought that I could make him love me, that I could make him, I don't know, make this person fix me. Like this person was gonna be my way out. And
That's
this person,
kind of how he seems to be.
yeah, as like a way of coping with like some of the shittiest years of my life. So yeah, just gonna put that out there. Undauntable, his father said in his icy voice. The room was empty now except for the two of them. The man described a dragon whose scales seemed to match the ones you wear. I think it's time you tell me where you've been getting them. His fingers tightened mercilessly on Undauntable arm. Holy shit, cutting off circulation so Undauntable hand felt numb. Wow, I don't think there's a single good parent in this entire book. An old woman, Undauntable blurted. I met her once in the market a long time ago. She had a small bag of scales, so I bought them all because I didn't want anyone else to have them. I've just been adding them to my jewels one at a time for effect because you said that style was partly about timing and... Stop sniveling, his father snapped. Undauntable fell silent. The Lord regarded him for a long, hooded moment. You're lying, he said at last. You're terrible at it. Undauntable had thought that was a rather good lie, actually, considering he'd only had a moment to think of it. It was a good lie. I'm sorry, Ren. I'll try to protect you as long as I can. I will find this girl, hissed the invincible lord, and Undauntable felt a stab of fear for Ren. I will find her and her dragon. Or dragons, if Bora's theory is correct. You can be of use to me, or you can be a stupid waste of space, as usual.
Okay, then.
But either way, one day, I will control the girl who controls dragons. And then the whole world will be mine at last.
That's sequel bait, though.
Yeah, that was sequel bait. I just also want to say that I would be very interested. I might even try to write, like, my take on my headcanon take on Undauntable's dad's backstory. But
how did he, like, create
yeah,
this
I feel like he has
empire?
a very intense desire for control, and there's got to be, like, some underlying trauma
Well,
there.
did you see the way he runs his city? Orphans will be marked and turned over.
Yeah, I feel like that might be, like, a thing. Maybe,
It seems like he runs
I
the
bet his
Invincible
parents were killed by dragons or something.
Yeah, he seems like he runs the Invincible City over in, like, very tight control.
Yeah, and he wants
He
to
has,
keep
like,
that
a
control.
system for everything.
Yeah, to, like, an obsessive level.
Okay, this is getting long.
Okay, we were gonna talk about the TV show, but I guess that's gonna be another video because this is getting long.
That could be an entire video. Anyway, Dragonslayer, good.
Yeah.
Feel free to leave, like, any theories and thoughts you have in the comments, like, if we missed anything.
Yeah, or if you, like, want any, like, sequel videos relating to this book or other Wings of Fire
We could
books.
talk about Dragonslayer for hours.
Yeah.
And hours.
We could have a book 14 theory video.
Yeah, literally
hours.
They're so.
We could show Taylor that, like, clip the, like, excerpt from, like, Snowfall's perspective.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, anyhow, it's getting kind of late here. So